Hello, good people. I believe we are live, but we always got to confirm. So I'm just waiting to see the stream start on my computer. Then I'll quickly close the browser so there's no double audio.
All right.
There it
Yeah,
is.
it's
There it
live.
is. All right, guys. What's happening? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Welcome back. And we say welcome back because we took a week off. Smitty went on vacation, well deserved vacation, took some time with him and his family. So that's why there was no show last week. I did tweet that for you guys who follow us, but we're back. We don't have a lot to talk about, but every time we say that, we seem to find a way to make a show of it. So few things that we will get into. If you give me just 2 seconds. Well, I don't need to pull it up. I remember. I'm sure in the interim, in the beginning, we'll talk a little bit about the playoffs, how we're currently feeling about the NBA playoffs, things of that nature. Then we'll talk about ESBC, man, the ESBC boxing game. They added Canelo Alvarez, and we'll talk a little bit about, what that game is doing in general and what that may mean by us seeing Canelo Alvarez. What does that mean for the future of the game? I will also expound on the point I made in a video, on its own, talking about why I feel like it will be the best sports game, at least fighting game. But even, you might want to throw all sports games in there. I will talk about why I feel like it could be the best sports simulation in terms of definitely fighting that we've ever seen. And we also want to talk a little bit of news, man, that we saw on Twitter today. Shout outs to Eric Rayweather. I did see it earlier, and then Smitty sent it to me as well. Apparently, EA, Andrew Wilson, every time we say that guy's name, I always cringe a little bit because we all know how we felt about Madden 25 and what was advertised. But apparently, he's teasing some information in terms of saying that the cover might be a little different. So those are the things that we'll talk about, and if it takes an hour and 30 minutes, it does. If it doesn't, then we'll be done before 10. But before we get started, guys, we'll do our quick round robin, if you will. We'll throw it to Smitty first. How's everything been going? How was your week? How was vacation, or anything you want to chime in or get into before we dive into the actual topics?
Yeah, no, man. Excuse me. No, I had week was great actually. I was out of town, so with the family and everything on vacation. Went to Vegas. Had some fun out there. Got to partake in some exquisite dining, at the Bellagio. You know what I'm saying? So that was definitely a lot of fun. Went out there with my godparents and everything, and my mom, and of course my family and everything. So we had fun. It was a whole lot of fun being out there. Didn't gamble or anything like that. My wife had got a chance to do it on our behalf, so she had a little bit of fun with it and won a few hands of blackjack. So plays it recreationally and everything with family and friends and everything. So that kind of helped out a little bit. But we had a good time. It was a nice first time going there. We went to Circus and hit up a few places and everything. But hey, something that was really unique was being able to actually watch the NBA playoff games, and it's like it's
Why
mad.
the betting going on?
Oh no! But
that's the crazy thing about the casinos too in Vegas. You see that they got the whole betting area, and I'm like, oh, so this is the way they get down.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was it was funny because we were that, and it's like the whole West Coast thing, when we went to like E3 in the past or any EA plays, especially when it's like playoff time or it was around the NBA finals, it's smack dab in the middle of the day. And the NBA games are on when I'm used to all of them mainly being on at night. And it's like, it's crazy because I'm up here looking like it's the middle of the day and we're eating, and I look on Twitter for a moment at my phone and I'm seeing people react to the NBA games. I'm like, it's only like 3 in the afternoon. Like, what's going on? What's happening? Yeah. And it's like people are watching these NBA games. So hold on, big guy. Hold on, buddy. So it's like people are reacting to the games as they're going on. And I'm like, oh, snap. That's right. We 3 hours behind everybody. So it's like, oh, but you know, it was cool to be able to watch the games for the most part, because I usually end up missing a game or something like that. And once again, because of restaurants we went to, places we were at, huge screen TVs, so we're able to hear everything. So we're able to hear the games and all that good stuff and see stuff. And I'm able to get updates. So that was all cool. But overall, though, no, I mean, it was great. And, you know, glad to be back. And, I got to get my son out the chair in a second here. But glad to be back. Ready to get into these topics and everything like that. You know, it was great interacting here to interact with you guys. Plus, hold on, I know, honey, I'm gonna get them. And the other thing too is that I didn't even notice it. This is our 300th episode. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I did not even notice that. So that's what's up. That's what's up. Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta get this kid out.
Yeah, man, we've been at it for quite a long time, man. And some of you guys might remember that we started on, you know, got to give respect to. We started on the Sim Perspective show when we were doing it just on Blog Talk. You know, can't discount that. You know, I know there was some differences between us and, you know, at the time, Ruckus. But you guys know me. I don't dwell on negativity or, you know, I don't have no ill will towards anybody. You know, we just had a falling out for whatever reason. I don't know where it came from, but, you know, all due respect to him. Shout outs to him. Hope him and his family is doing well. But like I said, we can't discount that because that's where it started. You know, it started with the Sim Perspective with the 4 of us. And then, you know, after things kind of went in separate directions, you know, the 3 of us, me, Smitty, and Azure, just, you know, went ahead and sparked up the Sim Standard podcast. But like I said, technically it's more than 300 episodes. But to see that we've, had 300 episodes just here, it's pretty crazy, you know. And then I guess it is quite a milestone, you know, that I guess we're not the type of guys that's just started up something one day and then we gone the next. You know, we've stuck with it over the years, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, great stuff there. So other than that, man, just to chime in a little bit on what Smitty said, man, that is crazy when you're on the West Coast. You know, I know, you know, some of you guys in here live on the West Coast and y'all know how it is. But I thought that was so amazing, man, when I was in Vegas or even in Cali, you know, when I was out in LA. You know, I remember when I was in Vegas, you know, it was a year that the Steelers, you know, we went right near Thanksgiving and they had a Thursday night game before Thanksgiving. And it was funny because it's a Thursday night game, and here I am watching the game at 5:00, and it was just crazy. I was like, yo, and it made me think about this. And again, you people, you know, that live on the West Coast fully understand this. The dopest thing that I found about being on the West Coast or Pacific time period, yo, in football season, there's never a late game. There's literally never a late game. Literally never a late game. Think about it. Your day of football starts at 10 a.m. The latest game starts at 8 Eastern time, which is 5 Pacific time. You know, and by the time the game gets going, you know, even Monday Night Football technically starts at like 8:20-ish. So you can roughly say West Coast time, 5:30, the game starts. And by the time it's over, you still got your whole day. Like that's what's so lovely about, again, shout outs to those who live on the West Coast. That's what's so lovely about it, especially if you out and about, you know, like I know when I was, you know, in my heyday, you know, when I was single and all of that, you know, my weekend started on Thursday. You know what I mean? I went out on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, you know what I'm saying? So imagine that, right? On a Thursday, you could catch the game. I could see how, and this is funny, just imagining how I would have lived as a single fella, living on the West Coast. I would have went and watched the game on some happy hour type stuff, right? Thursday night game, I'll go do like your happy hour type thing, get yourself together, then you hit the street. Because like I said, game gonna be over around 8:30, 9 at the latest, and you still got the rest of the night. So again, hats off to the West Coast folk, man, that when I realized that when I was out in the West Coast during football season, and I was like, that's crazy. You got a full day of football and it still don't take your night away. You know what I'm saying? It's never that feeling that some of us have on the East Coast where an NBA game starts at 10 at night. And by the time you watch inside the NBA, it's 1 a.m. That ain't the case for West Coast folks. So shout outs to y'all, man. But other than that, man, don't have a whole lot to talk about, man. As far as, outside the topics, I know Smitty and I will get into the topics. I guess I can ramble a little bit about the playoffs. And by that time, Smitty will probably be back. But I'm watching them right now, man. And this guy, Dame Lillard, is crazy, man. And I give such respect to Dame because he's the type of dude that's just going to stay in Portland. And he's going to go down with the ship. They're either going to win one day or they're not. I don't foresee him being the type of dude that's going to bounce around the league. So, and I think we talked about this on the last show. Even though you have your guys like the LeBrons of the world or the KDs of the world, you still have your Dame Lillards of the world that's just going to stick it out with his team. You know what I'm saying? Unless he gets traded or something like that. And the dude puts his heart on that floor every single time. I mean, to score 55 points and to lose. Heartbreaking, man. And even right now, looks like Portland has an early lead. They're up 3. Denver leads the series 3-2, but it's kind of like you watch Portland and they're not going to go too far. They're probably not going to go too far, man. So, it's just tough, seeing a guy of that talent cut from that type of cloth. It's just going to be struggle mode for him all the time. But, of course, his personal accolades are incredible. Outside of that, no real surprises, man, so far. Didn't expect the Knicks to go much further than getting to the playoffs. I mean, again, it's a team that hadn't been in the playoffs in years. So if you were a Knicks fan and you were expecting great things, you was not being realistic. I mean, y'all was not going to come out of the East. You won't go into the finals. So just, be happy, be excited. And I know some people will say, oh, you're supposed to be excited about mediocrity. I mean, how long has that been? If you were a Knicks fan, when the last time y'all been able to cheer about one of the playoffs? So I don't understand why people was clowning them fans. Like, dog, they supposed to be hyped like that. Plus, for some of y'all that don't know, that's just New York. That's how New York gets down. Like the city, that's New York. They always on that type of mode. Doesn't surprise me whatsoever how hyped they were. And, even the things they were saying to Trae Young. And Trae Young's he's supposed to do what he did. Be the villain. I loved it. But again, if y'all had thought the Knicks were going somewhere, I don't know what to tell you. What else? Before I throw it to Smitty, any other surprises? No. Told you guys about the Lakers. What did I say? Listen, man, the Lakers they not built for it tough right this year. It don't look like it. I've been said that. And this is the thing. Here's the thing that cracks me up about sports, Smitty, and chat. It's like, why are there so many people that's like surprised and did y'all really think, let's be honest, even if they're fully healthy and it's AD and LeBron, and they got pieces on that team. I'm not disrespecting nobody. I like Schroeder. Didn't have a good game last game, but I like what he brings to the table. But y'all act like it ain't other teams in the West that's nice though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is it just the Lakers are so like? why can't another team emerge? Like, why did y'all think the Lakers was just the favorite out the break? I get it because of what they did in the bubble and all of that. And again, I might be in the minority. I give them credit for what they did in the bubble because the other teams was there too. So I know we're all going to look at that championship kind of like, but like I said, there were other teams there. So you got to be fair. They did what they had to do. The Clippers, laid the egg in the bubble. LeBron and them did what they had to do to win. It is what it is. But coming into this season, you see the emergence of a team, even like Denver. You see the Jazz.
Yeah.
Even the Clippers, I know they're struggling a little bit, but the Clippers, if they ever get it together, they messing with a dog right now.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
That boy, Luka. We gonna talk about that a little bit. Man, let me tell you something, Smitty. And Smitty knows this as well as I do, as well as some of you guys in the chat. And I mean, you could have probably put this argument to bed years ago. But y'all all know that it's still always that stigma in the NBA, like, oh, that's a white cat. Like, you can erase all of that. I think there's been enough players that y'all know what we saying, and this is all jokes. This is playground stuff. Y'all know what I'm saying. People do that all the time, like, oh, a white guy. Nah, you can put all that to bed when it comes to dudes like Luka. That dude is a baller. He's a serious problem. So I ain't even always mad at the Clippers, even with the talent that they have. That boy Luka, he's different. He's different. just face the facts, man. Only thing else, real quick, Smitty, then I'll throw it to you. Like I said, no other surprises. A little upset about my Sixers, man. I mean, as you can see, we're gonna represent them tonight. But man, Joel, man.
Embiid.
I don't like that, man. I'm a little conflicted, man. I know, you're supposed to be a tough athlete and people got to save you from yourself because I know my coaches had to do it when I played sports. I don't know if I like him going out there and putting it all on the line if he has a minor tear, man, because that thing could elevate.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And if there is no Joel Embiid, Sixers are still talented.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I can't say it's a wrap.
Oh, we ain't getting out the East, though. No way. I don't think we honestly.
Okay. Yeah,
we ain't getting out the East with him. I don't think.
What?
Possibly we could, but I'm just saying. Listen, man. Then again, I'm not the basketball guru. If the Nets are firing on all cylinders, come on, man. It's too much offense. Now, granted, Embiid can kill anybody. Technically, ain't too many people that are going to be able to guard him. He would be a problem against any team. Him in the combination of what Ben Simmons is doing, just facilitating, Tobias balling, Seth Curry dropping 30. We got some talent. My man Maxey coming up big. But dog, if it gets to a point where let's just say it's a shootout, then that's gonna be hard to beat, man. If them three clicking, it's gonna be hard. And then we can't forget the Bucks. I'm still a little concerned, definitely, if Embiid is not there. If Embiid is playing and he's healthy, I give us a shot. Still kind of like, I don't know if we got enough offense every night to play on one of them teams, but without Joel, man.
But see, this is the opposite part of it, though. Even without Joel, they've already played without him. This is another. I mean, I know it's the Wizards. It was the Wizards, but the point of the matter is they've played long stretches without Joel during the season, and that's a good thing because they've had to go through that battle of attrition. Yeah. And I mean, now I don't know what their record was without what's his name, without Embiid in the lineup, but you're seeing it show through. And I mean, Maxey step up, Danny Green doing what he does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you
I
got
like Maxey. I like Maxey a lot, man.
like you got dudes that are going after it, and they're going after it. And that's the thing, they went after it without Embiid being out there. So if they play against the Nets, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, you're talking about, well, I mean, okay, I'm not KD. Harden went to the final. Last time he been to the finals was his basically what was that within his first handful of years in the NBA. But these guys are seasoned players. They know what it means to play in the playoffs. Like they know. I mean, we already know KD and Kyrie. So throwing him into the mix would make it unfair. But at the same time, you can get guys in foul trouble. That's the whole thing. And I mean, listen, if Philly plays with a sense of controlled aggression, you can get guys in foul trouble. And then now, let's say if you get Kyrie in trouble, or if you get KD in trouble, or if you get Harden in trouble, they're not going to be able to say, "Oh, I'm just going to play those guys anyways." You're not going to have a choice. You're going to have to play them through and possibly somebody get that's what you're going to have to do that. Like you're going to have to get somebody in some foul trouble. That's the only way you honestly going to stop it. So, honestly stop them. If Ben Simmons doesn't have to have a jump shot against them. All he got to do is go to the 10. Who's really going to stop him there?
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's stopping that. So it's like you basically have two unstoppable players and you're surrounded by some very confident scoring power. That could go a mighty long way for them.
I still don't like it.
I'm just saying, like, it's much better for them going up against the Nets for that than to see Milwaukee go up against the Nets, because I don't think Milwaukee got a shot.
That's what I'm saying, dog. So, I'm telling you, I don't think. I just feel like if them, in the era of the big three, bless you. If they just imagine, man, if they had games where they all clicking, I don't know who gonna beat them. I really don't.
Oh yeah, once again, when you're clicking, that's one thing, but when you have guys like Simmons that can do what he can do, that's the difference. If Simmons couldn't dribble drive and all he could do is stand outside and shoot, oh yeah, it's a wrap. But because he has multiple dimensions, not so much on the offensive side, but he has enough offensively that he could get dudes in trouble. You know what I'm saying? He can defend against guys. Yeah, don't get me wrong. If their shots are clicking, their shots are clicking. If Kyrie's hitting them floaters and teardrop, he just hit. You know what I'm saying? But if you get dudes in foul trouble, that changes that dynamic. Yeah, dudes could be in there ready to go hot and go ham, but if they got to sit down because of foul trouble, that changes the dynamic.
That definitely changes it. Yeah, you're right about that.
That gives you a great chance at stealing games. Oh man, and what's gonna be said after the game? Man, only if these dudes could have stayed out of foul trouble. Just imagine if they was in there for whatever amount of minutes. There was 20 minutes of game time they missed because of this, that, and the third. Yeah, exactly. That's all they need. That's all they need to win the games. At the end of the day, all you need to win is more games than you just need to win 4.
That's true.
If you're able to get to 4 by doing that, hey, so that's all I'm saying, So we'll see. It's just like the case with New York. New York wouldn't have won any games if Atlanta didn't go cold. It wasn't because New York was that good.
Boy, that boy Trae Young, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was Trae Young and
people got to really start talking about him.
Bogdanovic or whatever.
Yeah,
those dudes was missing shots. It wasn't because
that game they won. They was off, like really off.
Yeah, like no, it wasn't because they was just hot. They were just hot like that. Like no, Julius Randle didn't know what to do. He was scared.
He played, man. He sure did, man. Like he
kept pulling jump shots. I'm like, why aren't you playing your game? What are you doing?
Oh, speaking of that, like I said, I am no basketball genius or savant, none of that. But I put it on Twitter, and a lot of people agree. You talking about scared to shoot. What happened to KCP?
Oh,
dude, I don't know if everybody's been watching the game. This dude is passing up wide open looks. And that's why I think a clip even floated around, not this past game, but the game before, where they were showing LeBron in his ear. Like, dog, what are you? I mean, Smitty, it's crazy. I started noticing it like game one. I was like, this dude not shooting. I mean, he's not jacking up wide open looks. It's almost like he hesitate, then I'm like, what's going on? Like, the lights can't be too bright for you. Like y'all just I mean, even though it was in the bubble, I mean, lights couldn't have been brighter than that. I mean, in the finals, and sometimes I could recall watching Laker games and be like, yo, this dude always shooting. Not now.
Yeah.
That boy quiet, and I don't get it. I mean, again, you never know the psyche of these players. The same reason why I always say, guys, y'all won't hear me. I might have done it in the past, back in the day, but you won't hear me call professional athletes trash and all that. Because, I mean, listen, I might say they're just not the best at their position. Who knows the reason why he's struggling the way he is, but the boy not shooting the ball, man. I don't know what that's about. So yeah, it's crazy. But other than that, man, I don't know if Smitty does or not, but I don't have anything else on the playoffs. Yeah. No real shockers right now.
No true shockers. The only thing I would say, though, is LA. I will say this. I believe LA. I believe the Lakers got lucky that they beat Golden State. Because if they had to play against those Grizzlies, I don't think they would have made it. I don't think they would have made it in the playoffs. And the reason why I'm saying that, the only reason why I'm saying that is
mean that the second play-in. Yeah.
I don't think they would have made it because it's not that the Lakers aren't bad, and I'm not saying like, oh man, it's like, because as you can see, they rely so much on LeBron and AD, and I mean rightfully so. You have to. I get it. They're the leaders of the team.
Shaq always say the others got to do something now.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you gotta, but I mean, I get it. But the problem is that LA doesn't have anything outside of those guys. If one of those guys go down, it's tough enough. So when another guy go, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh man, come on. I mean, you got LeBron walking off the floor last night. The other night, he just walked off the floor 5 minutes. And you're like, oh, they started his treatment early. It's like, no, man, you can't see. That's the kind of stuff that he has done in the past. And he does that stuff when things aren't going good. So that way he could be like, man, I did everything I could do, and y'all ain't do. And it's like, y'all blew these Lakers up. Now, mind you won a chip. So you can't take it away and say what you did didn't work. So you didn't win a title. But in terms of the long-term success of this franchise, these dudes are going to be dead in the water once LeBron's gone. And AD ain't got to stay there. I think what? No. I think he re-upped, if I'm not mistaken. He re-upped to stay there long.
I think he did. I don't know what terms of his contract.
Yeah, I don't remember the contract terms, but yeah, it's just like, if these dudes lose tonight, man,
they play tonight.
Yeah, it's tonight. It's the 10:30. They play. They're the next game.
I don't know. I was thinking they played last night.
No, that was.
Guess it is tonight then.
Yeah, but it's tonight. Yep. So yeah, if they lose, man, and I mean, look,
they might lose, brother.
Yeah, I want Chris Paul to win because the whole injury thing was happening. It's like, oh man, here we go again. This always happens, Chris Paul. It's this unfortunate circumstance. And my man, this dude elevated this team. So it's like it's a wrap if these dudes don't get it. Chris Paul comes in and he was playing. He did a solid job, the other day. So
Devin Booker is
yeah.
They got to figure out how to keep that boy out the paint. My
yeah.
goodness.
And the one thing I want to say real quick, Luka, like you said, the whole white boy thing. Listen,
bad.
When a man can play, it don't matter if he's white, pink, yellow, candy stripe, whatever. The man can play ball. Dude, he punking us around, okay? They try to pull the whole racial thing.
I'm telling you, I still be hearing it from people, and I'm like, look, man, I get it, but at the same time, with some of these players, that notion goes out the window. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
Luka is a serious problem, bro.
Yeah.
Just face it.
Luka is punking, okay? He get dudes on his back hip. He up here. You ever do this little pity pat dribble in front? Like, no, I got you. Stay back.
That boy bad, man.
Going at Kawhi. Oh, you defensive player of the year. Talking mad smack to you, and I'm a busting on you.
Call cats out. Yeah,
calling
man.
Out
that boy's serious. He's serious.
Pat Beverly, he's too little. He can't guard me.
Too small. Lucas, he's different. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's something else. And this dude ain't even what, he like 21, 22 in the league, and he just play. Man,
who I didn't realize was so good, man. Some people gonna say how you didn't know that, but it reminded me because I'm watching them now. I didn't know the Joker was that nice, man.
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch Denver like that. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Never watched him like that because I think I don't think he played his best last year, or might have been battling injury or something, or was it like in the playoffs he was balling?
Yeah, he was still working.
I don't remember.
See, Jamal Murray was the one that was balling out, man.
Yeah.
So he kind of got overshadowed a bit.
Him and Donovan was going back and forth in that series. Yeah.
So now with and this is what I'm saying. Without him there, look what. Now it's really on him.
Joker nice, bro.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I did not know.
Oh, yeah. He was up for MVP.
Be hooping. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
man. See him, Joker. You know what I'm saying? Like it.
Because a lot of these dudes now, they're not just the. And like I said, you could have put this to bed years ago. I mean, even with Dirk and guys like that. Oh. But a lot of these dudes now, they're no longer just the European player. Nah.
Oh yeah, no.
These cats got it all. Even the big men balling, and so yeah, man.
So
it's pretty cool to see that.
Oh yeah. So no, I just want to say that Luka is he's a bad man. He's leading that team. And see, they made it the narrative, at least the media narrative is that the Clippers took those L's so they could take the quote-unquote easier route, not have to play the Lakers and play these guys instead because that's the easier team.
They should have played the Lakers. They know like I know. Right. But I'm going to be honest with you. They might be going home pretty soon here too.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Mavs let the league slip. They let the lead slip away last night, dang near. And it just took them hitting some clutch free throws to seal it. I mean, they hit a few threes down the stretch too, but they went on a nice little run. The Clippers did, and nearly brought it all the way back. So it's like, yeah, man, it got tight. So, and that's the whole thing. I think that game was in LA. So it's like for them to go to LA and you were taking it to them basically, and then you went cold a bit down the stretch. Hey, so it's like if they'll mess around, they could mess around and close them out. Like if Dallas don't and see, that's the other thing too. They got Porzingis. So Porzingis didn't even do that much last night. So that's the other thing too. If Porzingis does a nice amount of work and Luka does his work and Hardaway hitting them threes and they able to spot up and hit them
Hardaway was lighting them up last night. Yeah.
It's a wrap, dude. Like they are not going to get it. So yeah, man. So it's a fun. I still will definitely say it has been a very fun playoffs. Um, Even though the Grizzlies did not really have a chance, they tried to compete, and I like the competitiveness from those guys. I look forward to seeing John Morant. If they get another legit guy over there with him, or somebody comes up development wise, they'll be a nice team. They'll become a nice team again for sure. So
Yeah, man.
yeah.
I don't know, Alex, and yeah, my man King Arthur, we about to throw that up there. Thank you, appreciate the donation. We'll hit your question in a second here. Well, round of applause first. But Alex, I don't know if I can really dive into that. Like I said, I'm not the basketball guy.
Oh, I can
But
answer that.
but I mean, I would say American. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not being biased, but I still think the U.S. still got the best players from top to bottom.
Yeah, you got to think about. I mean, okay, as far as greats are concerned, it's going to be U.S. You have good players from overseas. You have your Drazen, Petrovic, Arvydas Sabonis. Unfortunately, he played the bulk of his career overseas. We didn't get to see him run up and down the court and everything. He was playing unicorn ball and everything like that. He was the dude dribbling between the legs, taking it behind the back and all that stuff, running the floor at 7 foot plus, shooting threes and everything. So he was dirking it before Dirk. You know what I'm saying? So you had that.
Bigger than Dirk.
Right, yeah. And you got, once again, you got Dirk, you got Porzingis. Like, you have some guys that do come over here and become nice after they get some seasoning American-wise to an extent. Like, what's my man's name? Ginobili. Like, my man was drafted, I think he was drafted in like 96 or 99 or whatever.
Dunk on people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He didn't come over here and start balling until playing until like 02, 03 season. So yeah, and I mean, and he was a real good player too. So you have some guys, but nowhere near the caliber of like American-born players. Not to the fullest. But unlike the American player, especially today, they're taught the
fundamentally sound
through. So they'll be 14, 15 years old on a professional team. Now, they may not be averaging 15, 20 points, but you get those anomaly kind of players like your Dirks, like your Porzingises, like your Lucas. They're playing in the top tier league at 14, 15 years old because they're that good. And then they go to the NBA and now they just going ham. So that you get those every once in a while.
Luka is a good example because as much as we said how good he is, I'm not saying just straight up comparisons, but how many guys have we seen in the NBA American born that ball like that?
Right.
Yep. So that kind of shows you the ratio right there. But yeah. So moving on, guys. King Arthur, we will actually fully answer this question when we get to the Madden cover topic. We'll save that for last. We'll jump into ESBC now. But your question there, and I'll read it for the chat. I'm sure y'all see it, but he says, does the wait and see approach to Madden speak to how far this game has fallen? And what are your 3 features you must be in Madden 22? And like I said, we'll try to get into that. We'll get into that when we get through Madden. Just a preliminary answer. Honestly, man, the wait and see has more so to do with, we say it every week. It's the people who sit in this corporate chair more than anything else. That's where that approach comes from. But let's talk some ESBC, man. In case you guys don't know what that is, we are talking about Esports Boxing Club. They have added Canelo Alvarez to their roster. And what does that mean for the future? I guess I can start, man, real quick, because what I'm going to say will be relatively brief. I've said it in the video, but I'll get mine out the way. I think what this means is way deeper than I think some people might give it credit for. I've seen people say, even here in the chat, and again, this is not a shot at anybody in the chat, but even my man in the chat there was saying, he would like for them to still add the Charlo brothers and some of the, premier boxing champion type guys. The thing that we have to always remember is a couple things. This ain't EA Sports, meaning this is not a huge conglomerate. This is not 2K. It's not a well-known AAA company. I had never heard of Steel City Interactive. So how they're pulling some of this stuff off to me is crazy. And then on the second side of that, the flip side to that is it still is based on those fighters. So it's not like, I'm sure Steel City Interactive wants everybody in the game, but it's still going to be based on the individual fighter. Because, from what I've heard, there is no individual commission that you can go to. It's not like EA acquiring the NFL license and they have rights to the NFL and then acquiring the NFLPA so they have rights to the play. It's not like that. Boxing ain't like that. You don't, just because you can't secure one area and all of the fighters come. You have to, work with each fighter to be licensed, work with each promoter and all of that kind of stuff. So we always have to remember that when we're saying, because, some people will go as far as, I'm not saying my man here in the chat is saying it, but some people will go as far as saying, man, if they don't get this, the game is a fail. I'm like, how? First of all, this is a brand new company. Y'all see how spoiled we have become when it comes to gaming? We've become very spoiled that we're putting lofty expectations on a company most of us never heard before. That's number one. But number two, again, it's not their fault if they can't acquire certain people. You know what I mean? If they can't acquire them, it's not their fault. So we always have to remember that. Outside of that, what does it mean for the future with Canelo being a part of the game? This is what I get from it. You have to ask yourself, why are so many fighters becoming on, they're signing up and they're getting on board with this game? What is the one thing that's drawing them to it? It ain't money. It's not money. I already said they're not EA Sports. They're not a big-time company that's paying that, we're going to make X amount of profit. We'll be able to hit you guys up. There's no financial, in my opinion, I don't know this to be true, but I'm just guessing. There can't be a financial reward, technically, for these players boxers, because they don't. Steel City Interactive has no idea what type of market they have or how many units they're going to sell. There's no way they know that.
Right.
So it can't be because of monetary gain. So what does it have to be? Authenticity, realism. The fact that people want a boxing game back. And every time we've heard one of the fighters speak in these fighter announcements, they're all saying the same thing. Oh, man, it's so authentic. They're going to bring the movement and this and that and this and that. And then all of the stuff that they're telling us in their blogs and their updates. This is the reason why I think it's going to be the best simulation fighting game we have ever seen. Even if you don't believe that, just look at the stuff we've seen with our own eyes. And I know people are critiquing the alpha gameplay trailer to no end. And I'm like, when do we get here where we're killing brand new games? It's so crazy to me now. And again, Smitty, I think maybe because we've been doing this so long, we've kind of matured in this path, where we understand gaming maybe a little more than most as far as from technical standpoints and what goes into making a game, and we can credit EA for that, allowing us to see that process.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not going to be perfect. And what are y'all comparing it to? Fight Night? When did we think Fight Night was the greatest game on earth? I'm seeing people saying, man, their hands are down. What? Look at this. Look at the footwork. Look at the footwork. In comparison to Fight Night? What are y'all talking about here? It's crazy. And again, I think some people, and I'm not knocking y'all, But I think some people always play the negative narrative, man, because it's popular.
Yeah.
It has become lucrative. And so, speaking of that, remind me, I want to talk a little bit about soft drink sports too, if we
Okay.
get a chance. And I'm not tying that into him doing it for attention, but I'll throw that in right now because it's really quick.
All right, go ahead.
You see how my man is stepping away, right? And some people would say, and I never got this impression from him versus some others in the community, right? I never felt like he was doing it just for negative press. From the first video I saw, because of the way he constructed his video. Listen to what I'm saying. The way he constructed his video and how detailed it was, and how he, Lex Marston has done similar things like this with one of his big videos back in the day where he shows you the trajectory of those videos. To me, are very informative, and it shows the truth. It's not just bash. And to be fair, Soft Drink Sports did that with a lot of games, not just Madden.
Yep, he sure did.
Right?
He sure
so
did.
Now he comes out and he's saying he's kind of stepping away from that because he feels, to sum it up, he kind of feels like he's boxed into this corner now. It's kind of like,
well, you're supposed to be the Madden bashing guy.
Yeah, and it's mighty funny because people will still look at me and Smitty and say, "How come y'all ain't so rah?" And his reason is totally different from ours, but kind of the same. It's like we've said all of this. Like I don't get the enjoyment from Madden 22 comes out and they say it's a horrible game. Y'all gonna hear us come on here and say what's wrong with it? That's it. I don't get that enjoyment anymore from and I never really did it for that anyway. That's the real deal, because y'all like to compare me to others. Y'all remember I never did it for that. Our goal was always best game. This needs to be fixed. I would like to see this done. It was never bash. That was pointless to me. I want a great game. I would love nothing more than Madden 22 being a good game, great game, or 23, or whatever, whenever it happens, or when 2K game comes back. But you see what happens, man, when. And I want to give a shout out to Soft Drink Sports, man. I respect that because he, I'm pretty sure what he was doing was lucrative. His channel was, his views were getting crazy, but he got to a point where I think he's saying it started feeling like work, and what else is left to be said? And it kind of takes away just your enjoyment of playing a video game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that in, but I don't get how people are just, they tearing down ESBC. The game ain't even came out yet. And you are critiquing it to the 10th power. Like, dog, you ain't never seen a game with that type of footwork and movement. Like the way they move, subtle. We've never seen this. And I don't, name me the game. Never. I've never seen it. Never seen it. I ain't never seen a boxing game either that all of their systems are actually systems. It's not animation. I ain't never seen that. I've never seen no boxing game to look the way it looked, even visually. I don't get it. But again, I feel like what ties it to Canelo, I think this game about to be outstanding, because I really think the people behind it, the fighters and all of that, who's getting involved, they know. I don't think you attach your name to something like that. That's a startup, if you will. Even if the company has been around, they've never produced a boxing game. I don't think you put your name on that if what you playing ain't legit. That's why I'm so excited. So it's not about hype, because I saw somebody comment on my video, man, what's all the hype about? I'm not hype trained in this game. I don't know what this game gonna be. But how could you not get excited about what they doing? They're taking steps that me and Smitty have talked about we want Madden to take, like revolutionize something. you know, I don't know. But those are my thoughts, Smitty. I think that's, Canelo throwing his name on it and Terrence Crawford and many others. I think we about to see something. And I'm sure Smitty's going to say this as well. Look, man, the game, when we see it in early access, this is not a finished product. It's pretty much virtually like an open beta.
Yeah.
So why are we judging this game so crazy? I don't understand. But what you think, Smitty, man? First, how did you feel about the announcement of Canelo? And, what do you think that means for, like, the future of the game?
Oh, man. First of all, Canelo, I mean, that's
major.
That's huge. And see, it's huge for multiple reasons. And, one other thing, too. At times, I know, family come in here, kids knock on the door, come in and all that stuff, whatever. If you have issues with that and everything like that, if you can respectfully address it in the chat, by all means do that. But if you're going to be disrespectful about it, just leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not, because. But anywho, now
let me say something about that too, really quick. We try our best, guys, but we just average Joes like y'all, man. We don't do this for a living. So if you hear background noise with me, if my son comes in here or something, or Smitty has to tend to his lovely boy, wiping his nose.
Right.
Yeah. I'm cool with that. Family first. This is not our job. And again, we're not going at nobody, but y'all have to understand it. And I get it, it's about quality and all of that, but the Sim Standard podcast has always been more laid back, technically, if y'all want to be real. So that's just what it's going to be sometimes. It's a Thursday evening. You got to respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, Smitty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Exactly, Sam. But no, buddy, that's okay. Here. But no, Canelo, the announcement of Canelo is huge because when you see the what they've posted up on the blog, on their monthly update blog, is that he's a fighter that's added, and there are going to be even more fighters that are going to be added going forward. Like what they said, more boxers will be announced. I'm on their Twitter here looking at their update. More fighters will be announced. This will continually be the case as more fighters are added in 2021/2022 and beyond. So you see what I'm saying? So it's like them adding Canelo Alvarez can truly open the door for who knows. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like as you've seen, Chris Cyborg was able to be added, and she's in UFC 4. Now, right now, I don't think they'd be able to add Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury at this point. But let's say if the contract expires, like let's say if it's done, all right, buddy, that's enough. Let's say if the contract expires with those guys, and then they're able to jump into this. If this game takes off, what do you think is going to happen? Those dudes are going to get in the mix and be in this game. What about Deontay Wilder? You know what I mean? He'll be in the game too. So it's like, and then hey, we may even get Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you never know, because the popularity, if it goes that far, Floyd could get in there. Manny, he may throw his name in the hat possibly, or whatever. Like whatever, however the licensing goes, like whatever the ties are or how it all works out, they'll be able to do those things because the game is going to do some talking for them. So having Canelo brought into the fold, huge. And he's like, what, the cover athlete, I guess, apparently, of the game, the way it appears.
Yeah, so yeah, it that way, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's amazing. Like, no, man. So, and then just looking at the gameplay update, and this is something that I automatically thought of Sim about when they talked about the countering system. because they said this is the key line. They said we can confirm that players will be able to counter based on their movement and positioning,
dude,
rather than just pushing a button to activate a counter window. That's enough. You're all done. No more.
No, but we want to tear it down.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Organic gameplay, organic boxing. You know what I'm saying? This is how you figure out, this is how you're able to determine who's got the talent, who's got the skill, all that good stuff. And this is what we want. But dudes up here trying to justify fight night and that's things I don't understand that either. Why are you fighting so hard for a boxing game that hasn't been out? That game came out in 2010. Like, so why are you defending that game so hard? There's been no boxing game made. When we see boxers show up now, they're showing up in UFC gear. Nah, I want to see dudes box. And you heard Sim and I say it on here, man. They put Anthony Joshua in there. Come on, man. I want to see a boxing game be made. Like, yeah, make the boxing game. So it's like, they're doing it. So let's get it in there. These guys are going after it. I want to see these dudes keep going after it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens, man. But I mean, these gameplay updates, updating footwork and everything like that. What else did they say in there? I know they added haymakers. AI.
And being able to take a standing A count.
Yeah.
That's, dude, I don't know if I was gonna make a video about that when it happened, and I don't think I ended up getting around to it. But that's, to me, that tells you right there how far they're going with simulation. That's crazy. You can literally take a knee purposely when you in trouble. Come on, man. That's authenticity.
I'm telling you, that's the kind of stuff that's the kind of stuff that separates you from the man from the boys right there. These guys are clearly doing that. You're giving us the game with the game. And they've shown us gameplay, but that's the key thing that I'm seeing from dudes now. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm in full agreement with them. Y'all ain't even got to show us no more boxes. Y'all ain't going to show no more features, none of that stuff anymore. Y'all done with that. Just show us straight up gameplay now. Show this stuff you've shown us here in these written updates. Give us something that's workable. If, once you're able to get it in a workable state where it showcases it legitimately, I want to see control layouts. I want to see, button configurations, and I want to see raw gameplay. That's all y'all need to show now. And if you guys at the end, oh, hey, by the way, we added this box or that box, sweet. But you know what I'm saying? Show us some gameplay, maybe from fighters in different divisions so we could see a little bit of a difference or whatever. Show us how the AI improvement is and everything. Show us this is what this boxer does versus this is what that boxer does. In a straight up fight, but then also I know they said in career mode as well. So it's like what they say, the AI improvement, it includes tendencies, strategies, and fight styles, all based on how the opponent, I know, right? How the opponent is fighting and any publicized weakness in career mode while taking the scorecards into account. Come on, man. This is the kind of stuff, and I was kind of questioning that too, because you got all these boxes in here, and it's like, yes, Sim reacting to it, me having a reaction to it. Mine's gonna be more subtle. This is gonna be much bigger for Sim because Sim's the boxing guy, so I'm gonna lean on him harder. But then when you see guys like Boxing Fanatico, Showbiz the Adult, and other guys that are like, oh, they added all these guys. So my thing is, are we gonna see the tendencies of these guys actually be added in? If you and understand, this game is on PC, so I'm not concerned about, oh, they only got 50 gigabytes or whatever on the disc. No. These dudes are building it on PC first. So they can go limitless with it. You know what I'm saying? They can, we got every boxing, every tendency, every nuance, all the stuff they do during the course of a fight, whether they're going through the battle of attrition, or these dudes are trying to pounce on somebody and finish it. Or are they patient like Floyd and they just stand back in the cut, even if they got the edge, and just let you come on? Like, that's the kind of stuff I want to see. I want to see that, because now I got to give credit to Showbiz on this. He said it. They gave you all the boxers, from the guys that are all about the pugilism to the most intricate level to the most base level of a fan. They got all those guys in there. They got the legends for you. They got the today's stars that you may know or may not know. Or like, oh, who's the most popular guy in boxing? Oh, he is. Oh, okay, cool. Or she is, because they got top women boxers in the game too. So it's like they give you the whole smorgasbord of fighters in terms of guys that are in this game. And yes, you still see people requesting more people. And that's why you see those requests, because they've put so many people that span across the boxing paradigm, whether they're known legends or they may not necessarily be a legend, but they're known for something in the sport of boxing of what they achieved on a high level as a professional. And it's like, yo, they put so-and-so in here. Oh, okay, that's what's up. So that kind of stuff, and you can appreciate it. So it's like, I want to see how well these dudes go about capturing it. And I'm going to be looking at the reactions of the people who really know what's up. So that way I can be like, oh, snap. Okay, so they really did get him. All right, bet. And what makes it cool for a guy like me, who I know of boxers, but I don't know these guys like that. That would be cool for me, because then I could research and get hip to these guys for the first time and see these dudes and be like, yo, okay, now I see why my man fight the way he fight. And I don't mind doing it. I'm like, I want to be able to learn that, so that way I can give feedback about the game, be like, hey, yo, man, the way my man fights here, and you guys need to have him doing this, that, and the third. And that's what the Discord is for. And I love the Discord. You know, when I check it out, you have a lot of insightful guys in there talking about the game. So it's not just everybody should be able to drop everybody and all that stuff, whatever. It's like dudes are talking like legit. You got your legit guys that are in there lending a good voice towards this game. And hopefully, once we're able to get our hands on it, the feedback that's given is going to lend the proper weight and balance to this project. Because I don't want to see this game just be some slugfest. I want to see it be legitimate boxing going on in the game at the end of the day. We don't need to, I definitely don't want to see people trying to make this game fight night. No. You want fight night, you got that. You've been had it. Those that stood up and swore up and down, that's the game. Play it, have fun with it, and enjoy it. This is ESBC. Let it be its own title. And see, that's the other thing too, Sim. That's why people clown these games. Just like when we talk about Madden making any kind of changes, like with the player movement stuff, people clowned on it for next gen. I'm talking about. But the thing is, it's legit. Yeah. These guys are pulling real world data, and you're like, oh, but that ain't right. It's like, it's that fear of change. You don't want somebody else to come in here and do something that you're not accustomed to, because that's the game. It's like you're scared to see this game get dethroned. Like you're scared of me. It's like you're okay with the complacency and the semi-mediocrity that you've been given. So you accepted it now because it's been so long. So you're okay with it. You don't want to see somebody come out here and give you something better. And it's like, no, scratch that. I want better. Why the heck I want this game to be? Why do I want to see a boxing game come out and be the same as somebody else? No.
Makes no sense.
None whatsoever. You're not the standard. Someone else set a new standard. Now you got to live up to it. Folk be under this impression that everybody got to live up to EA. ESBC is not fight night. Well, yeah, that's what I wanted. That's exactly how I want it to be. I don't want this game to be Fight Night. I want this game to stand on its own 2 feet. And that's exactly how these dudes are coming out with it. 8K, you're taking body scans of these people in 8 freaking K. You know what I'm saying? You're bringing these people in. I'm looking on the Twitter or whatever, or you see these guys, somebody will retweet so-and-so in the studio getting mocapped. And it's like they're bringing these people in. They're getting them legitimately scanned. I'm like, that's what's up. I want to see that. I want to see you. I can't wait. When's Canelo getting in there? You know what I'm saying? Like, get Canelo in there and get him scanned. Then I want to see later on Deontay Wilder and all them cats. I want to see those guys. Not some sketched rendering. No, get them in there. Get in that building just like all them other dudes, all them other men and women and everything went right on in there and did. And now I can appreciate that. So yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. And I don't know, like you said, Sim, I don't know how in the world these dudes got the juice to get all these people. I don't know Steel City Interactive from a can of paint.
Me neither, brother.
It's amazing. And there was just a fight the other day where a dude had the ESBC on the back of his trunks.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That was, what was my man's name? I saw the fight, dude, and I can't even remember the dude's name.
But see, that goes to show. But see, even with that, still, that's legit. Like,
there's something drawing them to it. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. There's something drawing them to this game, and I have no reason but to believe that it's the authenticity. It can't be no other value. I mean, outside of them wanting to have their name on something, but I'm talking about the Canelos of the world. He doesn't need. He doesn't need. Terrence Crawford doesn't need a video game for people to know him. Authenticity, man. I'm telling you. I'm almost willing to bank on it. This game is going to. Again, I'm not sitting here saying it's perfect. There is not one game that any of us are playing that's perfect. But I'm telling you right now, from what just the creativity that we're seeing from this company, this game is going to be special.
Yes.
Special. I can't wait. I am waiting for it.
Yeah. It's going to be fun when it drops. So hopefully this summer is what they're saying is supposed to drop. So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So
I'm about to try something here, guys. Y'all bear with me for a second because I think you can share. Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you can share a window on your computer. Let me see. Oh, yeah, look at that. Y'all see that?
Oh, okay.
Oh, shucks. I can't move. I can't size it, though. That's the only thing.
Oh, got you.
Well, I was going to let y'all see me play a little MLB. Yeah, I might come back to it if the game gets a little interesting. What's up, DJ? No, you didn't miss too much, man. Didn't miss too much. You know, we didn't talk about too much crazy. We saved the can't even use the phrase best for last, but we saved the Madden news for last. So, you know, we'll jump into that really quick. Honestly, you know what? As far as how I feel about the cover stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, it's not that big a deal to me. Shout out to Eric Rayweather for pointing that out. I'm actually going to check out his video, you know, just to hear his thoughts. But basically, the skinny of it, guys, is, you know, Andrew Wilson kind of said that, you know, the Madden cover might not be the traditional what you expect. He alluded to it being, you know, just different. So it kind of got people to thinking, what is it going to be? Is it going to be a player? Is it going to be 2 players? You know, kind of like Madden 10. So, you know, there's speculation on that. So I listed it as a topic, but it's really not a topic. You know, like I said, I don't have much to add to that. But what I will do is I will circle back to my man's question, King Arthur, and I'll read it again. He says, the wait and see approach from Madden, does that speak to how far the game has fallen? And what are 3 features you feel must be in Madden 22? Same question to Smitty. So I'll answer those quickly. again, the wait and see approach is really because of, if I'm being brutally honest, the inside information that I've been privy to since, going down to EA Sports back in 2012. Just knowing how the operations of that building, the people above, the people that we know, the executives, the ones who sit in this seat and the heads up high and they're all about let me see the bottom line. Those people, until I see a real change in the culture with them, it's a wait and see. Because what I'm never concerned about, I know this might be breaking news. And if anybody is into clipping something that you say and put it on Twitter, here's something y'all can clip. I'm never concerned about what the devs do for Madden. Never. Let me say that again. I am never concerned about what the devs want to do for Madden. Never concerned. Never. I know what they want the game to be. I know the features that they would love to be in the game. I know where they want the gameplay to be. I know about features that they attempted to bring to the game that hasn't made it. I know about things that were on the docket that was ready to go for a certain year, and then up above was like, nope, we can't do that right now. We don't have time. We need you on this. I know all that. So let me be clear for the record, because again, you can't assume everybody knows. Some people are seeing me and Smitty for the first time here. Me and Smitty, you say privileged or whatever you want to call it. We had the opportunity way back in 2012. We were brought down to EA Sports. AzureEffect actually went event before us. Yep. Yeah, he was the first one, but he went earlier in the year. Yep. Long story short, they invited us to be a part of the Game Changer program that has direct access to the devs, and we go down to EA a few times a year, and we give them, y'all know the whole thing, right? Fast forward to now, we've known those people a long time. We have relationships with them. We have learned how the game actually works. Shout outs to guys like Rex Dixon, who really showed us the ropes. Yeah. Look, we want to do this. We want to do all of this. Shout outs to guys like Clint, who literally said, look, man, we could virtually do whatever if we were able to do whatever. Meaning, there's some systems, honestly, if I'm being honest, there's some things that they know they probably need to try to retool or redo, reconstruct, but you have to be given the green light to do all that. It's not always an investment. Fast forward to 2020, last year. Madden comes out, nothing's done to franchise. We went crazy. The community went crazy so much that it was trending on Twitter, #1 for a night. Yeah. The ones who sit like this saw that and was like, what's going on? And you know what? I think the unspoken thing that most people never said, and maybe we said it, or a few people might have said it. You know who else saw that? I'm sure the NFL saw that. Like, hey, what's happening over there? Force the higher ups to come out and talk. Force the higher ups to tell us about features they're going to work on early. They never do that.
Never.
So that's why I actually think that the stuff that they talked about in that article, it's probably going to be in Madden 22. I'm pretty sure. Because I feel like if they don't do that, oh, boy, they're in trouble. So then comes the argument about this, to kind of answer what my man King Arthur is saying. 3 features. See, it's tough when you ask me that because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys, but it's the cycle. Even if the higher ups gave them the free reign, right? Let's say they told them and they wrap up Madden 21, and remember, next gen they had to work on that a little longer. Let's say the day they wrapped that up, the devs gave them the free will to do whatever they want. It still wouldn't be able to produce but so much. Yep. There's so much involved with making the game, like especially Madden, because there's so much old stuff. So all I'm looking for them to do as far as features, I want them to deliver everything that they said is coming for franchise. You got to do that for me. For franchise. hit on every one of those bullet points. Then I'll be looking for extras. I'll say, what else could they do? Then I'll be looking. You understand what I'm saying? I'll be hopefully pleasantly surprised by what else they're able to do, like sprinkles. But feature-based, I'm looking for those things. Remember, I know scouting was one, and staff management was another. We've already seen like a teaser of that. And it was some other thing. I can't remember exactly what, more scenarios and things like that. At least deliver that. And let's see what that means as far as what you're saying, what you're doing, but how do you do it? What does it mean? How does it work? And then gameplay wise, honestly, I want to see them start addressing the things that plague the gameplay. I really would like to see them start separating themselves a little bit from two-man animations, however they can do it. Like Smitty pointed out the last show we had, MLB doesn't have any real organic situations, but they have enough animation to make you believe. Madden got to figure it out. Yeah. They either got to get rid of the two-man animations, which, if we're being fair, I know it's kind of tough to do. Because I'll tell y'all a quick story, and I said I wasn't going to take long, but just to tell y'all a quick story. Years ago when Rex was there, Smitty and I think even Azure was there, we always used to talk about synchronized animation. Why there's so many times when there's a catch, you see both guys go synchronize. He explained it to us. Well, Sim, this is the reason why this happens. Your receiver and that DB has no idea that each other is there. What you're seeing play out in real time is they're matching a catch animation. The reason why it's synchronized is because both of them are in that proximity. I said, oh, okay. Now, thanks. That makes sense. So we kept saying, and like I said, maybe me, Smitty, and Azure, and quite a few others, but maybe we're responsible for two-man animation because we kept saying, man, y'all got to get rid of them synchronized animations. So, boom. The next year we come down, they're showing us these beautiful two-man and these animations. Yeah. They told us that, oh, man, so what we're doing different now is we're mocapping the situation, and it sounded beautiful. But I know Smitty, I think Smitty was there with me when I said, whoa, wait. You said you're recording the two guys play together. And he was like, yeah. I said, so that means it's an animation, it's like a sequence. Yeah. And he was like, yeah. And Smitty remembers this. I was like, ooh. Now, granted, I'm not giving myself credit for knowing what it was going to be. I didn't know it would be drawn together, but I did know this. I said, oh, so that means they're going to be, it's kind of a locked in sequence. So I knew right then how organic could it be. But, I gave it the benefit of the doubt because what we saw in the studio looked good. But then as time passed and we really started playing it, we started seeing situations where the ball is here and one guy's there, but then the other guy gets in proximity to play out the two-man, and then you see the suction. And that's what we have now. So because there still hasn't been a solution in terms of making receiver and DB know each other is there, all you really have is either a sequence that's more polished, or you go back to independent animations and you might get this again. I'm sure there's ways they can do it. I'm just speaking from a Madden standpoint because, we see it in FIFA and things like that. But just speaking on how Madden is currently constructed, those are the questions I ask, like, okay, are they going to start going towards addressing the initial issue? And the initial problem to me is that y'all have to figure out how to allow the independent animations play out. I go SWAT, receiver goes catch, and it plays out independently and clean. I would like to see them start going down that direction. That's one gameplay feature. Other than that, honestly, and I know y'all gonna laugh because it don't sound like I'm talking about many new things, but there's a method to my madness here. I just want to see them really polish what's there. Build on that player movement. Build on the organic tackling. because it's there. Not all the ways, because you played 21, and there's still times where there's that can animation. But keep building on that organic tackling. And then, third, I would like to see them branch that out to the trenches and the DB and the wideouts. And of course, I would like to see AI improvements, right? Because the reason why I'm saying this, guys, is honestly, and I know Smitty understands this, there's so many things I would love to see in the game, but we have to get those fundamentals down. You have to get it to where the players are interacting in a more organic fashion. You have to get it to where physics is playing out in a more organic fashion, and you're able to interrupt animation and all that. And you have to get the AI to a point to where the game is really reading and reacting. That is the baseline. And I know some people are going to say, oh man, well, that should have been. Yeah, you're right. It should have been.
Yeah.
But until we get those three things really clicking, all the other stuff don't matter. I want jersey pulls. I want to be able to, and I get called for holding. Would be beautiful. But if the AI and all that stuff ain't together and it's a two-man, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be, again, I do believe, and for the record, because I've had this conversation very recently, with a couple of people at EA, because, they seen a couple of my videos. And, what I definitely respect about the guys I talk to, the Clints of the world, people like that, they will literally say, all right, so let me understand your request. How would you approach? We have real conversation. And I've definitely learned over the years that a lot of the stuff that we're asking for is really not as simple as some people think it is. It's not. But I still want to see them progress towards that, right? Because again, you look at other games that are, and again, I finally will admit it, Smitty, it is hard to compare a football game to some of these other games. However, I think I'm comparing the one-on-one interaction. So I can look at a soccer game, and when two guys I can compare that to DB and wideouts. Yeah. That's fair. Maybe not the trenches, but it's fair to compare one-on-one situations with how other games choose to do it. Like I said, MLB doesn't have organic situations. FIFA has more of them. 2K has a blend of them. And I think maybe Madden takes that approach. I think there's a way that you can marry the situations to where even if it's a sequence, just reduce the amount of, reduce the time that it can trigger. Just make it look, make us feel like it's organic if you can't get it right just yet. Other than that, that's all I'm looking for, man, because again, the game that I want, it will take a few years to get the game that I want. And that's why I've been telling y'all for the last couple of years, I just want to see the active steps towards it. That's all I need to see. So just like we saw the new introduction of the player movement and RFID, I want to see something like that for 22. Another stamp like, oh, okay. Oh, all right. So now y'all taking another step. And along with the commitment to franchise, if we get those, and I know it ain't everything, folks, but trust me when I say this, if those bullet points are all in the game, that is a beautiful sign for us consumers.
Yeah.
That would mean upstairs is paying attention. Keep that in mind. That's what I'm looking to see. Are y'all really focusing on that stuff? Because that doesn't mean, oh, it stops at 21. No, that means they don't want that heat again. And they will keep going. And like all we needed is to nudge those folks. So if they actually deliver, how interesting. So then maybe we'll start seeing Madden, trend up year to year like it once did back in the day. So
yeah,
those are my long thoughts there, man. But once I started talking, things was just flowing. But yeah, man, what you got, Smitty?
No, I mean, just relatively quick, pretty much, because you covered a lot of it there, and it's just like, as far as top thing, like, look, the player manager, a lot of stuff we're asking for is something needs to be there, and back to when we were there for Madden 16, and we saw how the sequences play. I remember going back and forth with Larry Rehard and Sean Grady, especially about it, because I'm like, man, people aren't going to like these 2-man animations because control is being took. And see, the thing is that if you're going to do this, you need to have animations that trigger before that animation even happened. Like, you have to do, and it's like what Czar has said when he would even do his live streams. He was like, dude, y'all say we have to program animations for those animations, and even for those extra base animations that you're talking about, we got to add animations on top of those. So it's like, yeah, you do have to add even more animations on top of the game to really have it where you have control, or you're giving the illusion of having control. So you can have a 2-man animation trigger, but if I hit triangle, and let's say if I'm playing against a user, or if I'm playing against the CPU, and the CPU decides to jump early, and then I hit triangle later, you should have a 2-man animation that'll depict that event happening relative to our positioning, though, too. So it's like what Sim brought up with the passing situation that was explained to us, is that all these different animations are in a bucket. Depending upon where the player is and relative to where the ball is, those animation, they'll pull an animation out of that bucket that suits that situation. So do the same thing there, except you have a lot more animations that are in that bucket now. You got a gumbo pot of animations that could play out that make sense relative to user input, player position, timing input, those kind of things. They're all relative. Instead of it just being one sequence that at some point, whether you hit the button to jump for it or not, or you hit the button to rack it, or you hit the button to possess it, oh, this is just what's going to play out. Oh, well. Like, no, man, it has to be a better system than that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, because and that's why I always bring up FIFA, because FIFA used to have that kind of system where all we got is just hard-coded animations. And as one of their main developers has said, when they first introduced the real-time physics, they was like, well, the thing was that we were only able to go so far because we can't articulate these sequences in hard-coded, we can't articulate these situations anymore with just hard-coded animations. That was extremely hard for us to do, because what if somebody inputs a command to do a kick, and now we're pulling that control away from them because they get pulled into this sequence, and now this sequence got to play out. So with them having that impact engine in there, if you input the command to kick, your guy's going to extend and go for the kick. Now, if someone's body is in the way, they're organically hitting it.
And that's the
whole
how you married it too, man.
Yeah, like you have, and look, if you play FIFA long enough, you can play one game and you can still see, oh, I see where they got 2-man animations in there. You can see them, but they're subtle, and it's not like, oh, my control is stolen because of it. No, it's not like that. Just like playing NHL. When you crash up against the boards, that's the 2-man animation. When you're wrestling trying to get the puck away, that's a 2-man animation. But what's being respected? Position, where the puck is at, all of that stuff, right? If the puck is mainly on one person's side and you trying to kick the puck away, but let's say another defender comes up and poke checks it away, the puck is out. It's not, oh, wait, we got to wait for these two guys to finish, and then we can get the puck. No. If someone comes up and interferes, that puck is gone. And that's the point. So it's like, how come NHL is able to evolve their game along and eventually do it and get to that point where they're doing it? How come FIFA is able to evolve their game and do it, but Madden can't? We'll let you, and see, that's the stuff we be talking about. That's why we always say, if they're empowered and enabled, I know this game would be way better than what it is. That's the whole
thing. They can do it, folks. Let's make sure we're clear on that. They have the team that can produce that. Trust me when I tell you that.
So, but the thing
that
is,
impact engine was in Madden 25.
Right.
Force impact. That was
Yep.
So come on, man.
Yeah. So it could be done. You just gotta let them. They have to be given the permission to be able to do the work. They're not given the permission to do the work. They can't do it. Period. So that's the whole thing. Like, even with Madden 22, oh man, they did great things and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, but you ain't got nobody going against you. You have nothing to really compete for. So, like, look, personally, I would love to see Madden be like Rainbow Six. I know I've talked about this in the past, but I would love for them to be like Rainbow Six. Have years. You know what I mean? Or like they do their season passes, or they say this is year 1 edition, year 2 edition. Like, I would love to see them do it, because they can continuously develop the game and then hit you with a new installment or something like that. Like, you get the season pass and they do so much updating for the game, and then it's like they do a brand new game, or they add a brand new mode, or they do brand new enhancements that go along with the title. So that way, whether it's an update or a new purchase or whatever, you know, you could have some kind of customer loyalty with it or whatever. So people who've been rocking out, they could get it and just play, you know, at a cheaper price. But it would be sweet to have something like that you can play with in the game. You know what I mean? Like if they did their game that way. But right now you don't have anything. So that really sucks. You know, with that sucks to me when it comes to Madden, because I believe that if Madden, if they were given the time and the resources adequately, they give us an amazing game. Absolutely amazing game.
Absolutely.
Like you see on screen here with MLB The Show. Amazing game.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it can be done. Like, there's no excuse why it just can't. It's not possible. It's very possible, but they just got to allow it to be done. There's no reason why all pro football should be a reference point. None. No reason why I should be able to pull up controls from NFL Fever 04 and then read and lead control and be like, oh yeah, this is better than what's in Madden. And it's sad, but it is. It's like, you should be leading the charge. And I know Ultimate Team is what leads the charge. Playing head-to-head games against each other is what's leading the charge. That extracurricular profit is. But with that profit, you should just be delivering the quality title too. That's the problem, dude. So, you know.
Yeah.
That's it at the end of the day, dude. Like, because like I said, all these years pass by and we're sitting up here talking about how it take years for the it take them 3-4 years to be able to do something. We've said that kind of stuff before. 3, 4, 5 years pass by and the game basically it hasn't moved that much. And
that's why.
It's not because of the devs. Yeah, exactly. It's not because of that. And we keep telling y'all the exact same things too. So, and like somebody said here today, so it's not Clint Oldenburg's fault? No, it's not Clint's fault. Ain't got nothing to do with Clint. He doesn't run EA. You know what I'm saying?
I really want to know, like, and I'm not even being funny. Oh, did that one get out of here? Nope. I really want to know, why do some of you guys think that? Then again, I'm not being funny. I'm you know what? Let me cut this share off because we about to wrap up here in a moment anyway. The reason why I continue to ask that question is, do you guys believe in me and Smitty and Azure and Shopmaster? You know, it's probably one of the more guys too that's still on social like that. Probably some other names that I'm forgetting. Do y'all believe in us at all? Y'all follow us? You rock with us? Do y'all believe anything that we say? And I ask that question because why would we not say it's the development team when we've been there? Remember what I said. I've not been in that building. I mean, obviously, I doubt if anybody did last year, but I haven't been a part of the quote unquote assistance to the development since Madden 19. So, you know, we're really not in the thick of it like we once were. Now, do I still have the ability to talk to the dad? Because I've developed a relationship with them. But what I'm saying is, what benefit does it do us to not, like, why would we never come out and say, man, they got to do something better with the devs, da, 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 da. We would say that. I hope y'all believe that I would say that. There's no benefit for me not. There isn't. And I know people would make the jokes back in the day. Oh, they just want to get a free. Y'all, do you think somebody literally would be dancing like, you know, I'm gonna just say it, tap dancing for a $65 game? Do y'all think that much or that less? Do you really think we would be protecting our interests to get a free game? Come on, man. I don't. Do you think Rex Dixon leaves and says it was a difference of, you know, creative differences? So my question always is, if you don't believe the devs, if you hearing us tell you, look, man, y'all fighting the wrong fight, why don't y'all believe it? I don't understand it. Y'all been rocking this for a long time. I just don't get. You keep asking that question, and we continue to tell y'all where the problem lies. It should be clear. Should be clear.
Yeah.
2 names. Scott OG. Mike Wang. Or Wong, I think is how you pronounce it. Those 2 guys were at EA. OG is back there. How much praise do they get for 2K? Clearly, it's not a talent issue. Vic Lugo, who some of y'all don't know, it's not a talent issue.
Right.
Clint Oldenburg was an offensive lineman in the NFL. He knows what the trenches should do. I'm willing to say that A-Dub could probably go out and be a defensive coordinator for any team in the NFL. I would say that. Guys like Scant know so much football.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of coverage and not even just technique, the stuff that he would like to see these guys do. So my point is, I don't understand why we keep going back to that, man. Like, all of us here that's listening to this, man, you know, we're mature people, man. As far as, you know, we're a little bit older. You know, most of us are not in our 20s anymore. Like, you should be able to see it for yourself. That's what I'm saying. So I don't understand why some of y'all keep running to that. Like, trust me, I would tell you if I felt like, yo, the devs ain't doing their job. I would tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't get why y'all think that. Okay, if the devs were doing such a bad, let me put it in another way. To say that it's their fault. So are y'all saying that they're playing into what the higher ups want? So Clint is coming to work saying, let's just do the bare minimum. Come on. It's impossible for me to believe that some of y'all really think that. It's not it, man. Again,
Yeah.
if that was the case, you would have heard it from us. If that was the case, I can promise you, let me tell y'all something that you can hang your hat on. I would promise you that I would have never become a part of the Game Changer program if that's what I thought. I'm not built like that. I'm not cut from that cloth. No. I've distanced myself from a lot of things, and I'm like, nah, I'm cool with that.
Think about it like this. These guys got some recipes that could make Checkers better than McDonald's, Burger King, or any other restaurant, any other burger joint out there, right? They present the ideas. They could come to the table with prototypes, all of that. And the executives are like, what are you doing? Bro, if we put this formula out here, I'm telling you, this is going to change it. People are going to buy like never before. No. This is the formula. I'll tell you what, we may add some more salt to it, maybe a little bit more pepper. Maybe you can put a little Mrs. Dash on there or whatever, a little bit of seasoning. But you're not straight fire sale changing the menu. No, but I'm telling you, man, if you just let us do this and we're going to be able to. You see what I'm saying?
They need that Ed special sauce from Good Burger.
You know what I'm saying? like I said, Clint, Rex, stuff that's been said, A-Dub, plethora of things that he said to us over the years before other Maddens came out, stuff that I haven't seen happen yet. Colby, when he was there.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea. Absolutely would have took the game to another level. No, he ain't get to do any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was mainly just working on UI. This dude came from MLB The Show. We ever like, oh man. And I know I know Rex ain't bring him over there to just work on UI. But I'm pretty sure he had ideas and things he wanted to do. And see, that's the whole thing. When somebody else above you, though, is telling you what you got to do, that's the point. You can have the most brilliant minds in the world go in that building. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm going to change the game. Like I said, and it's got nothing offensive towards Swami, but what has changed in Madden since he's been added to the team? What did he do? If you watch him and pay attention to anything he does, what has he fire sale changed to that game? Nothing. There's nothing he's changed. Oh man, he's there. Oh man. No. And it's not that he can't do nothing. He's not given that ability to do the work. Unlike when Scott OG went over there to 2K. My man talking to NBA coaches and all that stuff, implementing stuff. Czar talking to NBA coaches, implementing stuff. My man, what's the name? Stauffer working on rosters and stuff like that. So it's like these dudes are actually applying things. Now they're not letting they're not letting them just run rim shot on everything. No, there's some level of okay, you got to follow some kind of structure. But they have been given a lot of freedom to really let their ideas flow to some capacity where they feel like they have that sense of, we do have some kind of freedom here where we're able to actually try and implement things based off of what we believe how it should be done. And that's what's up.
Man.
So
yeah.
That's it.
I'll be trying to say I'm not going to preach that message no more, but it's like we get the question all the time. And Black Scorpion, appreciate you commenting, and I respect your opinion. I'll read it here. I'll put it on the screen so everybody can see it. He says he's 56 years old, been gaming since day one. I don't make separations between employees and corporate heads. To me, it's Electronic Arts like the day it was created. They get no passes here. I've got to respectfully disagree with that, Black Scorpion, because let's take EA out of the equation. There's no way you can link employees and corporate heads together in terms of how a business is ran. I don't.
No.
So, like I said, I respectfully disagree with that. Again, I know we're talking about gaming, but again, your statement says you don't make separations between employees and corporate heads. Huh? How can you lump them all together?
That's like saying you own a company and your employee is just as powerful as you. You own the company, you hired them, but they have just as much authority and power as you do, and leverage. No. Like you gotta have that. There's levels.
Yeah, there's lines, man. Listen, I get it. We're all
not knocking them. Yeah, it's not knocking
you at all.
Or whatever,
we're all passionate gamers, but again, sometimes I have to step away from that. And that's what it taught me, man. If people always wanted to know, it seemed like y'all changed. No, we didn't. We just got information. That's why y'all don't see. That's why you don't see me bash. To me, it would be pointless. It literally would be talking about me. I ain't talking about myself in third person. But if I did that, it literally would be me trying to clickbait and get views. Because there's literally no reason why I should be bashing something in the game in terms of why this didn't happen. I already know. I know why. Feedback is different. Y'all see me still occasionally giving feedback. Hey, man, I like to see this happen. But as far as, dog, I already know. So that's why I say, look, man, I mean, have at it. We need that crowd too. But for me to do it, some of the devs that I know would literally call and be like, man, you already know that's why. Like, it's man, what you trying to get clickbait? Like, they in a joking way. Like, I can see Scant being like, Sam, come on, man. You already know better than that. You see what I'm saying? And again, the reason why I can't allow nobody to say that, I'll give y'all one better, right? Let's not talk about those exact devs. My man K Spade is a dev at EA.
Mm-hmm.
I wish somebody would try to tell me that K Spade is a sucker. You can't. I knew him way before that. And that's what I'm saying. K Spade work in that building. I will never lump him with what the corporate heads are trying to do. Never. That's my man. $100,000 before the gig. And that's what I'm saying. I can't. Let's read this too. And again, this is just conversation. This is not. He says, I consider them equally responsible for the product they create and sell at the end of the day. If a car doesn't work properly, look at Ford. We don't look at assembly line. Yes, we do. If I like cars, right? Let's say you are a Benz fan, Mercedes, right? Let's say for some reason the next 10 years the body style don't change. They don't change it. Who decision is that?
Right.
Is that Mercedes-Benz or is that Sim who works there? You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, man, is I feel what you're saying. What do I always say? I put blame on the devs for the product they give us, right? So whatever comes out in Madden 22, I will say, all right, as far as what y'all did do, why doesn't this work this way? Why does this, that? That's the stuff I can look at the devs and be like, dang, y'all didn't implement that. The cleanest target passing. Remember that? We was like, I appreciate the idea, but the way that's what I'm saying. But I cannot blame the developers for what they are allowed to put in the game, sir. Right. I can't. How could you? So, like I said, I respectfully disagree with that, because if we take it outside of EA Sports, that's a general statement to say they all responsible. No, they're not. The devs are responsible for the work that they, what they are bringing to the table. Again, if Mercedes says, okay, this year we're going to do this to the brakes, we're going to put this in to the, the interior, then the people who designed it, I'm going to critique you if there's little, the threads ain't tight enough, or, I go to turn on the radio and it falls apart. Now I got to look at y'all like, what y'all doing? But I can't look at that employee for not changing the body style. That ain't his decision. Right. So.
And he's right, and then he is right. He said the bugs in the game, that's on the corporate head's fault too. Actually, that is too. It is as well, because you got to remember, the thing is, these devs have a timetable, and the game ships. Madden 22, I'll tell you right now, it's going to ship with bugs, because they have a wall
every
with
game,
big old Excel sheet. And that's every game.
That's the way of the business now.
With all kinds of bugs and everything, and they're like, okay, whichever ones are the worst ones, we're going to try to get to those, and other stuff we can't get to, that'll be part of the title update plan. So title update 1, title update 2, so it's like they're going to get to what they can get to accordingly during the course of the cycle. Why is it that way? Because executives. You see what I'm saying? The dev team Clint can come up and say, man, we need an extra amount of time before we can actually do this, that, and the third. Nope. Guess what? You're given this time frame, this much resources, this much that, and you got to make it work.
Rex Dixon said publicly he tried to promote bug fixes for a cycle.
Yeah.
And he was laughed out the building by the executives, pretty much. And I'm paraphrasing, but there you go. So was that on Rex? Or was that on you? Like you just wrote corporate? That's all we're saying. Yeah. I separate corporate from worker. I'm sorry, I just do.
Mm-hmm.
It's stuff at my job I would love to see maybe done a little differently. I don't control that. I have no control over it. Like, so I don't, and again, I know me laughing and stuff might say I'm not being funny or disrespectful enough, and this is just how I talk. I don't see that correlation. How I could blame the employee of anywhere, and I can lump him in with the corporate. That's no way. I can't think of many places where I could do that in any genre. Give you a perfect example, and I'm going to get out of here, man, because my wife already asked me if I was done. A lot of you guys know I used to do music. I was in the music business, yada, yada, yada. Let me tell y'all right now, some of y'all favorite artists, some of them records that y'all don't like, and you wish they would, that ain't their decision. The ones who are still signed to major labels, that ain't their decision. When they do that, the song that you like, man, why would you put that out? That I know it's a nice radio single, but that's what the label wants. The A&R wants this. They want that. The artist, that's why have y'all ever listened to a mixtape and you always wondered why he get off so much on the mixtape, but on the because the label wants a certain type of record.
Yep.
Certain type of album. Now, when nowadays dudes are more independent, they do what they want. Or when you get to a certain level, you do what you want. But in the beginning, if you are assigned to a label, that's why you have A&Rs and all of that, and people that come in to construct your album. There you go. That ain't the artist. That's Warner or Sony or one of them. You know what I mean? So
marketing team.
That's it.
Yep.
Like I said, man, we're not going to agree, and we don't have to, because it's like the points you're making. I think you're countering the root of what we're saying. I don't think it's fair. This is all I'm saying. I do not think it's fair for you to say employees and corporate heads are on the same playing field.
Yeah,
I cannot agree with that. So I probably can end, my part of the debate right there. I can't see past that comment.
no one's being exonerated at the end of the day. Like, we're just telling you where it stems from, and that's all there is to it. It stems from up top, and then it's a trickle down effect. Yeah, fault falls on the devs ultimately, but it stems from the people up top, and that's just the way. That's the way it is. Like, it sucks. Trust, we learned that from the first time we went down there. It sucks, but that's the truth. That's just how it is. And these devs are the ones that are on the front line taking all the blame, all the everything, because they're the figure that's standing in front of everything.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Agree. So that's it. So yeah.
Game should work. It should work.
Oh yeah.
It should work perfectly. But the problem is, the reason why you were seeing some of the same bugs every year is because guess what? The big bad boss upstairs said, we don't have time to do that. We need you to put long shot in the game. Forget fixing the trenches. No, we're not doing that this year. We need you to do that. It's just that simple. Repetitive. We've seen it in almost every game until they finally addressed it.
Yeah.
2K used to have some of the same bugs every year too. It's the only reason, again, and I'm not excusing it, but the only reason why Madden gets more of because we all feel like that's the lesser of all the rest of the games, but they all go through this. Every single one of them. 2K, I mean, all of them. MLB this year, oh man, the hardcore MLB fans, they're killing it because of some of the bugs and stuff. So it's the same thing. It ain't no different. It's just Madden got the bigger target on their back because it's severely behind in terms of overall product, like some of these games are. And that's it. So, but all right, man, I gotta run, guys.
All right.
Appreciate y'all coming through. Great conversation tonight. Shout out to Black Scorpion, man. I always love when we can have conversation. Nobody's upset or nothing like that, and we just having debate. I definitely appreciate you coming through. But outside of that, man, thank everyone for coming through tonight. Hopefully, we'll be back next week. If I say hopefully, but I mean like hopefully there's something to talk about, worth talking about.
Yeah.
And that's all I got, man. I hope everybody has a good night. Anything you want to say, Smitty?
No, I just appreciate everybody coming through and hanging out with us, man. Had a fun time tonight. So hopefully there'll be some good stuff because E3 is approaching. So hopefully there will be some stuff to talk about next week. So we'll see. It may not necessarily be Madden, but we got Battlefield that's gonna have something unveiled on
the 9th. Yeah, that's right.
On the 9th. So we'll see what happens as far as other games and stuff too, and just touch on some stuff. Then hopefully some Madden stuff pops up, but we'll see. So,
yeah, definitely. Salute to you, Black Scorpion, and respectfully, and I think we all should be able to do that. We can disagree. Because honestly, I don't know your full perspective, other than, we had about a 10-minute conversation here. So I would never judge, I don't know your full perspective. I'm just saying from a literal sense, I can't combine the two. And even if I'm talking about Madden, I definitely can't because I know these people, I know these people and I can tell you the type of passion that they have. In fact, there's, probably saying too much, but there's been times that devs were even upset after a release because they like, man, you know what I mean? So, but all right, man, we are gone. Have a good night. Stay healthy. Stay safe. God bless them. Whoa. Denver stretching that lead out with 3 minutes left. Let me see. 9 points, 3 minutes. That Dame Lillard can probably, he can make them up in 5 seconds.
Yeah, he could.
But all right, y'all, man. We out of here. Y'all be good.
All right.
Peace.